Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast. Wait, have I heard of what now?
Oh, I had you heard of Walter Nauta before the indictments? Like, did you know that Trump had like a right hand lackey that wasn't discussed or publicized? Like, I guess he must have had several, but this guy seems like he was with him for a long time and stayed real loyal to him.
I don't know how much I had heard his name before.
He's got a name for himself now, though, right?
Absolutely.
And it's like a Broadway play, Bill. It's like, and now introducing Walter Nauta as co-conspirator.
Yeah, what kind of name is Waltine? What were his parents thinking?
What's it, Waltine? What was
I don't know. Waltine, Waltine. I don't know.
Walton.
Anyway, I'm sure it's Walton, but it's just funny to say it Waltine, like saltine. Like, he's definitely a cracker. I hadn't really heard of him until
I get jokes.
The news broke. Actually, it might have been last year. The DOJ was subpoenaing witnesses who worked at Mar-a-Lago. He was one of the names that came up.
I see.
Yeah. And the last section is just some unanswerable questions. I mean, I guess I could have came up with more, but I was like, I think this is going on pretty long. We got a lot of shit here. But we can fly through this. We don't have to go too in depth until we get to the end, because this was just to make sure we can have a podcast where we can point to, if you like, you don't want to listen to the whole indictment, but you kind of want to get the gist of everything summed up for you so you understand the circumstances. Instead
of listening to the 1 hour recording, listen to 2 45-minute podcasts about it.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, this is Lee Knight.
This is Carol. Huh.
Yeah, we don't know where the fuck Ty is, but I'm sure she'll be back or be here eventually.
She'll hop in.
And you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast, where we don't know how to find our own co-hosts. But we're eventually going to figure out how to do this whole podcasting thing, even though we've been at it for like a year now.
You know, we live in 3 separate time zones and have families, some of us, and shit to do and jobs. And I think it's pretty impressive we've been able to get together as many times as we have.
Yeah, I think we've pulled off quite the feat.
Let's mention that.
Well, that's not entirely true. We actually
sometimes we get some free sheets. The one time. Thanks for the sheets and giggles, Colin. They're nice sheets. I enjoy being in them and sleeping in them, apart from the fact that I enjoy sleeping and being in the bed.
They are fantastic sheets. I will have to give him that. I assume all of his goodies from Sheets and Giggles are fantastic. I guess I'll have to pick up a pillow next to see how that goes, and then maybe a mattress topper. But you know what? There are actually a few people who are paying us because they subscribed to the podcast through a link in the show notes where you can support the show if you would like to compensate us financially for ripping Trump's ass apart for a year now. But yeah, big thanks to Laura Kennedy, Stuart J., Chris Wiswell, and Sally Sheck for your financial contributions. But as nice as that is, the most important way you can contribute to the podcast is to share it with all your friends. Yay! So it can help our audience grow. You know, obviously, everyone needs to hear us about our bullshit. And apart from that, If they haven't read the Trump indictment, we have a free audio version of that in our most recent podcast episode. So check that out. I'm assuming if you're listening to this, you probably have read it or listened to it at this point. But anyway, anyone who's not up to date, you can point them to that if they're too lazy to fucking read. We also
have it read in a smooth tone of Dee's hypnotic voice.
I did okay. It's read by yours truly.
I thought it was good.
Oh, thank you, Carol. Yeah, it took me a while. The fucking thing was long. Took me quite a minute to get through that thing, but that was rather important information, and I feel like everyone needed access to it, and not everyone's able to read 30 plus page indictment. But again, in case you missed the news somehow, and I don't know if that's even possible given the stakes of this, Trump was recently Trump was recently indicted. Okay, 04 tuna is the bomb when you're like, you have some Schadenfreude to celebrate. So Trump was recently indicted by Special Counsel Jack Smith in the classified documents case, something we had been telling you was going to happen for, 10 months now. So patting ourselves on the back for calling that in advance. We didn't get a chance to talk about that on the podcast since the indictment was unsealed, however, and it was full of very informative, enticing details, some of which we're going to get into on this episode of the podcast. We've got
so excited.
A rather not brief summary of the indictment in case listening to the entire thing for an hour was too much for you to bear. You can listen to this for an hour and we'll get into even more speculation about the implications of the facts that were found in the indictment. So, Carol, I'll let you start. The United States versus Trump. Well, Jack Smith speaks for us all.
Special counsel Jack Smith. I realized I was saying special agent like the whole podcast every day. I know he's not a special agent, but anyway, I digress.
Agent Smith is the Matrix, I'm telling you.
I know. The United States versus Trump. The charges Trump faces under the indictment include 31 counts of willful retention of classified documents, 1 count of conspiracy to obstruct justice, 1 count of withholding a document or record, 1 count of corruptly concealing a document or record, 1 count of concealing a document in a federal investigation, 1 count of scheme to conceal, and 1 count of making false statements and representations.
Carol, them a lot of counts, yo.
Yeah, and there's a lot of counts of how many boxes he left in the fucking bathroom.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So that's 37 total counts to go along with the 30. Wait, did I do that correctly? Yeah, 37 to go along with the 34 counts from the Manhattan DA's office for a grand total of 71 counts. If we keep this up, at some point, Trump will be indicted on more counts than he received electoral college votes.
I've had more counts than anyone.
The greatest.
I'm hugely good at counts.
The greatest criminal counts in the history of the United States.
I thought I was listening that Evan was my husband was watching a parody of, because I heard they're like, I did everything perfect, and they indicted me. And I was like, that guy does a terrible Trump. And I was like, oh my God.
That was actually Trump.
That was him. He sounds like shit.
Okay, there's this really funny thing where something he was saying on True Social where he was blaming a lot of people, but he also blamed mutants. And someone made a really good X-Men reference where they were like, I did everything right, and they indicted me anyway. And he was like pointing at Nightcrawler. It was fucking hilarious. Next thing you know, they're gonna, Trump's gonna run on the Mutant Registration Act. Anyway, for all you X-Men nerds out there, you'll know what that is. The Sentinels to be coming soon. Yes, number of very serious counts here. I think of note, most informative from the criminal counts that Jack Smith indicted Trump with.
Jack Smith.
the 31 fucking document stands out, right? So I had assumed that what DOJ would do is they would pick a handful of classified documents that they deemed were sensitive enough, to warrant criminal charges, but not so sensitive at this point that having them declassified for use in a trial would be super damaging to national security. The Goldilocks zone of a risk they'd be willing to take. They did not do that. No. They were like, we getting this bitch with a lot of fucking documents charges. So they are very serious about their willingness to hold Trump accountable for all of these documents. I guess also of note, another thing that's not specified specifically in the indictment outright is that Trump didn't receive any charges based on the documents that he returned to the FBI willingly after, once NARA got the FBI involved. Or rather, the documents he returned to NARA before they got the FBI involved. So I guess you can infer from that in all likelihood, Trump wouldn't be facing any legal jeopardy if he had just complied with NARA in the first place.
That seems like very consistent with the conservative legal advice. Just comply.
Just comply. Yes. Just comply with law enforcement. Yep. So it's entirely possible that if he had just turned over everything when they first asked, and not to say that he absolutely wouldn't be facing any criminal charges, but it seems likely that that's the case. On to the deluge of documents. Some of the documents, the classified documents in Trump's possession that he's been charged for, at least, include U.S. nuclear programs, defense and weapons capabilities of the United States and other countries, vulnerabilities of the United States and its allies to attack, and how the U.S. would retaliate in response to an attack. The documents included material prepared by the CIA, NSA, the Pentagon, the Emergency Department, and other intelligence services, none of which he was authorized to keep upon leaving office in 2021.
Some agencies I've never fucking heard of. They're so classified / I was ignorant. He's just, man. He's in a lot of trouble when they're just making up new agencies to say.
Yeah, they're inventing whole new agencies to charge Trump with crimes for. So for all the people saying that these were like personal records that Trump was keeping, so he shouldn't be held criminally liable for withholding those even after he was subpoenaed by the FBI, you a fucking joker. Get the fuck out of here. This is some serious shit. What the fuck do you need nuclear documents for if you ain't the goddamn president no more? You have no use for those. Vulnerabilities of the United States to attack from a foreign adversary. Like, why the fuck would you be taking those anyway? Like, this is some of the most sensitive shit in the possession of the United States government. There's absolutely no reason for Trump to be having this stuff. Like, if you look at the classifications, so in the indictment specifically, the way it's laid out, you get the level of classification. Some of these documents are for programs so secret that they redact the name of the program. So that should let you know how fucking serious this is. And also some specific designations about who the information can and cannot be shared with. Like, no foreign means it can't be shared with any foreign nationals. 5 eyes only, meaning it can only be shared with our 4 other allies in our surveillance programs abroad, the 5 Eyes surveillance program. Like these specific details just highlight how fucking important and sensitive these documents are. Like there is no personal use for this shit. So whatever he was saying about that was a lie. Whenever anyone tries to defend him with like going down that line of defense, it's absurd. It's insane.
It's just funny to me because so I was, as part of my job, completing like a security vulnerability assessment and like business continuity, like, but like there were the delegation of responsibilities and like different flows for this shit. And just imagining like even every employee at every level and most to all reputable companies have to like they have to be at least bound to confidentiality language. Like, you'd get your ass fired so fast if you were even just at a private company showing this stuff off. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm forgetting what my point was, but like,
Well, if you worked in the private sector and you were just showing off something that was confidential for like employees' eyes only, and you did that shit, you lose your fucking job. Well, imagine like working at the CIA and you're still in their shit, like some, I don't know, Ethan Hunt type shit hanging from the ceiling, still
but
in
like
the
even the
blacklist level
lowest
type
level
shit.
person is supposed to like understand the bounds of a confidentiality agreement.
Oh, for sure. And then
Like,
Trump, yes, Trump was the president of the United States. So if anyone should understand like the grave stakes here with this type level of information, it would be him. Like, I mean,
and
this
you
is
know, they drew it out for him like 20 to 30 times. Like, can we try a different diagram, sir? Sir, we've made it a cartoon. We are going to play the cartoon now. And
Yeah.
see if
Well, if look, anyone listening, if you've had any family members who've served in intelligence services or the armed forces, you understand that this is the type of shit that could get your friends or family killed if it was revealed to our adversaries. So that's the level of seriousness, you know, the classification levels of these documents imply. All right, Carol. Next up.
didn't realize that was a subject heading. On two occasions, Trump showed classified documents to others. Ugh. Trump showed sensitive documents to others on at least 2 occasions at his club in Bedminster, New Jersey, where he spends his summers after having boxes flown there in May 2021. He summers in New Jersey. Trump showed a, quote, plan of attack that
It gets hot down there in Florida during the summer.
Yeah. Trump showed a plan of attack that Trump said was prepared for him by the Department of Defense and a senior military official to a writer, publisher, and a couple of staffers. And so he showed it to them.
Yes,
to
he
the writer,
showed the
publisher,
document.
and a couple of staffers in July of 2021. He, quote, told the individuals that the plan was, quote, highly confidential and, quote, secret. Trump also said, quote, as president, I could have declassified it. And now I can't, but this is still secret.
Okay, there's a fucking recording of this. This is the recording of the meeting that Trump had with Mark Meadows, writer and publisher, and a couple of aides of his. So I imagine we're going to actually be hearing that tape played in the fucking trial whenever that occurs. So
that's like, that person's a horrible Trump impersonator.
And it'll actually be Trump.
Trump showed a member of his political action committee, quote, a classified map related to a military operation weeks later, and then told them, quote, that he should not be showing it to the representative and that the representative should not get too close.
Yeah, so what you can gather from these incidents, apart from Trump's...
So it establishes his state of mind that he knew what he was doing was not authorized, yes. And that he could get in a lot of trouble. He said expressly that he did not declassify it. So he is like through all his, as you mentioned in a previous episode, he threw his reasonable doubt away and very clearly established mens rea and like an intent. Like, it's great. That's they couldn't have chosen a better quote.
Well, I mean, okay, beyond just Trump admitting to these people that he knows what he's doing is wrong, he clearly has no concerns with doing it because he just does it with reckless abandon on more than one occasion. So not only does that show his knowledge and intent when it comes to violating the law, it just shows that he's willing to do it with reckless abandon. He ain't give no fucks. He's no fucks. Like, he knew about the recording and just didn't care and just did it anyway. Because I guess he assumed the recording would never come to light. I don't know what he was thinking. But anyway, that was fucked up and crazy. That's going to come back to bite his ass. You can count on that.
I don't know if I call it, there's another standard. I don't know if it's like every kind of legal proceeding, obviously not. But there's reckless. And then there's, I just remembered it. And now I'm drunk still. So reckless disregard and like wanton Fuck.
Yeah,
That
whatever it is,
wasn't the word either.
whatever it is, it's definitely that one. Wanton fuckery.
It's like wanton disregard for human life. No, wanton wasn't the word I wanted either, but it's a step worse than reckless. And like maybe sometimes one step below intentional.
Okay. We'll figure that out for the next episode of the podcast.
Indeed. I had it like a minute, like when I started that statement, I was like, yeah.
It's okay. Carol Stone, guys, give her a break.
No, this is because I'm drunk.
Oh, Carol's drunk. Oh, I apologize. If she was stoned, she would absolutely remember this with the utmost clarity. All right. Bed, Bath, and Beyond a Reasonable Doubt.
Depraved indifference. That's what
The indictment outlines Walt Naughta's role in moving the boxes to different rooms throughout Mar-a-Lago, using text messages from two Trump employees referred to as Trump Employee 1 and Trump Employee 2, and Naughta himself, to paint a picture of how and when the boxes were moved. When Trump left the White House, some of the boxes were first stored in a ballroom before being moved to the business center, quote, business center. You have to pull up the picture of that shit.
the business end of the ballroom.
And then a bathroom, because of course, a very horrible, tacky, a very horrible, tacky, gaudily decorated bathroom with multiple chandeliers and a toilet that's like 2 feet off the ground. It's a nightmare. In May 2021, in some horrible shower curtains.
Like when you have certain rumors and you have certain people have certain expectations of you, sometimes you just want to feel like your dick just still hangs into that toilet water.
All right.
So
I don't know.
You need a really tiny toilet. You need a really tiny toilet.
All right. That is a reference to Matthew Whitaker, former acting attorney general, who, long story short, Matthew Whitaker used to sell toilets for well-endowed individuals. And there's a reference to that. Also, in May of
Trump
20
has a smaller than normal toilet, you see.
In May of 2021, Trump ordered them moved into the storage room that was, quote, near the liquor supply closet, linen room, lock shop, and various other rooms, and could be reached from multiple outside entrances, according to the indictment. So
I'm sorry, they keep it near the liquor for the drunks to come peruse, but it's next to something called a lock shop, where they theoretically could have kept the documents in a secure area. It's like there's a secure area there, but they just chose not to use it. Like, what the fuck do they have locked up in the lock shop if they have nuclear secrets in the linen closet? Like,
it's incredible. Yeah, it's bananas. It doesn't make any. It's like the least secure location possible of all these unsecure places. It's bonkers. Anyway,
he could have at least put it in like a fake book safe.
It's an inside joke, guys. Me and Carol were talking before the podcast. You have no idea what the fuck it is she's referring to there. Anyway, Naughta and another aide would later move some of the boxes to and from Trump's residence at the club in an attempt to keep a number of classified documents from being discovered by his lawyer, Evan Corcoran, in Corcoran's attempt to comply with the grand jury subpoena demanding the documents be returned. So,
nightmare client.
Not only is Trump moving these boxes around inside of Mar-a-Lago to various locations and moving them to and from Bedminster, New Jersey, after having received a subpoena, Trump decides to play a shell game with the classified documents, having them moved away from the place where they were stored to the bathroom and to his office in an attempt to keep Corcoran from discovering the documents that Trump wants to keep, while letting Corcoran search through the boxes to find a handful of documents that Trump doesn't mind returning in compliance with the subpoena. So yeah, it was a very cockamamie scheme. It was some White House. I mean, rather, it was like the Watergate burglar type shit.
I just love their level of like hubris. They were like, okay, they came back and asked for them again, but they wouldn't come back a third time, right? Do you think we should move the document somewhere more secure so they can't find them? No, it's fine.
Well, and this is
the room.
This is Trump hiding them from his lawyers. They don't even expect the FBI to come kick down the door searching for shit. So this is just it's bug wild.
He thinks they'll just accept an affidavit from his lawyer when he's tainted the reputation and credibility of everyone who's ever stood near him.
Yeah. Well, let's not speak on Trump's taint, Carol. After you.
Bed Bath and Beyond a Reasonable Doubt. The indictment outlines Walt Nauda's role. Is it Nauda? Nauda? Walt Nauda, whatever.
I say Nauda.
Walt Nauda's role in moving the boxes to different rooms throughout Mar-a-Lago using text message from two Trump employees referred to as Trump employee number 1 and Trump employee number 2, and Nauda himself, to paint a picture of how and when the boxes were moved. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I just decided that I didn't care about his feelings or how his name was pronounced. So.
Wait, hold on, Carol. I read this part, didn't I? Yeah, you read the wrong one. So let's classified quicker picker upper, Carol.
Classified quicker picker upper. In December 2021, Nauda texted Trump's employee number 2 with 2 photos showing several boxes that had been knocked over, their contents spilling out onto the floor with at least one classified document. Yikes.
Yes, it's Mark's secret released to USA 5 Eyes, meaning it's only designated to be released to our allies in the 5 Eyes surveillance program.
Yeah, so it was visible on the floor. Trump employee 2 responded with, oh no, and I'm sorry, POTUS had my phone. The indictment doesn't indicate how or why the boxes had been spilled.
Yeah,
Wait, so they're saying Trump took the picture and texted it to some random person and
no,
Nauda's phone?
So Nauda found the box spilled over in the storage room. Took a picture of it and texted one of the employees close to Trump, showing the boxes had been knocked over with the document spilled out into the floor. There's a lot. There's a tiny section, but it's a lot to note here. For one, the sensitive nature of the document in question is just open, laying wide open in the fucking floor for anyone to find.
Yeah, that part I get, but it just, why is he telling someone that POTUS had his phone?
Okay, no. So he was texting Trump's employee who was with Trump.
Oh.
But then the employee texted back about the spilled document. Oh no. And he's sorry, because for the delay in his response, because Trump had his phone, which is insane because.
Let me use your Twitter account.
One of the things Trump does to avoid leaving any incriminating evidence is he uses other people's phones to communicate and do his dirt with. So if you're familiar with the January 6th investigation, as part of the report, it uncovered gaps in the call logs in the White House where they know Trump was supposedly watching the insurrection live on TV for a number of hours, but didn't place any calls. But yet they have testimony from witnesses who say they spoke to Trump during that time, meaning that he uses.
And we had the voicemail, right? Wasn't there the fucking voicemail to McCarthy?
Well, this is evident, again, this is some mob boss type shit where you're scared your phone's being monitored. So use burners and burners and shit. Yeah. But also no one knows who knocked the fucking box over or how it fell. So anyone could have been rummaging through these boxes, trying to find whatever documents that they thought were valuable. Who the fuck knows? Again, I suppose they could check their surveillance footage from the time the last individual entered that storage room up until whenever this was in December that Nauda entered the storage room. But all I got is questions, man. Like there's no real answers to this. Also, it's very ironic that when classified information is unintentionally taken out of a secured space, it's generally referred to as a spill, like this was a literal spill. All right. Nara a soul. It's supposed to be a play on nary a soul.
I got it.
Haha. By the end of 2021, NARA officials had been demanding for months that Trump hand over records he had kept after leaving the White House. Messages included in the indictment indicate Nauda and Trump employee 2 brought several boxes to Trump's residence on the Mar-a-Lago property for him to review between November 2021 and January 2022. Trump employee 2 printed out a photo of dozens and dozens of boxes stacked in the storage room and taped it on one of the boxes delivered to Trump's residence so he could see how they were being kept.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. In December,
I took the inventory of the illegal stuff, sir.
Yeah.
Let me transmit it over an unsecured network.
Not only are they taking notes on the criminal fucking conspiracy, they're taking pictures of the criminal fucking conspiracy. Shout out to The Wire. In December, a Trump representative who had been in contact with NARA pushed Trump employee 2 to provide a tally of how many boxes Trump had so he could inform the archives officials. The aide replied that that 12 is his number. Now, granted, it does, you have to do a little bit of backtracking through the indictment to figure this out, but there's 80 boxes, but Trump is telling NARA that there's 12. So
and what a fun way to phrase that. 12 is his number.
Right.
It tells me I am being forced to say 12.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, he could be talking about, the age of Trump's next prospective girlfriend. On January 13th, NARA texted Trump was still tracking the boxes and said there would be, quote, more to follow today on whether he wants to go through more today or tomorrow. On the 17th, NARA and Trump employee number 2 loaded 15 boxes into NARA's car and then a truck to deliver them to NARA. NARA determined that 14 of the 15 boxes...
Is that a secure transmission in return? Okay.
Probably not, but I imagine given this scenario, it was... Well, look, at this point, I don't know if NARA understood that there were classified documents determined to be in these boxes.
Right, okay.
Anyway, NARA determined that 14 of the 15 boxes contain classified documents, documents with classified markings after a review, with classified markings ranging from confidential to top secret. On February 9th of 2022, NARA referred the matter to the Justice Department. Then the FBI opened a criminal investigation in March, and a federal grand jury convened in April. So, this is Trump going out of his way to deprive NARA of all the documents, a number of documents that he took from the White House upon leaving office. I think his mistake here, I guess you could call it a mistake. His mistake here was in the documents that he returned to NARA. He included a number of classified documents, and that tipped them off to the fact that he might have more documents in their possession. Because once NARA saw those classified documents, they was like, yo, FBI, Chris Ray, where you at? And the FBI was like, all right, we on it, homie.
Hide and seek. The grand jury issued a subpoena on May 11th, 2022, demanding all documents with classified markings in the possession of Trump or his office. On May 23rd, 23, that's not what it says. On May 23rd, 2022, Trump met with 2 attorneys to discuss the proper response. I'm having a bit of what year is it confusion when I was like...
Time is a flat circle after 2020.
Yeah, 20, it was only February that they referred it to the Justice. 2022 was last year. Anyway, according to Corcoran, when the attorney said they would need to look through the boxes to respond to the subpoena, here's how Trump responded. I don't want anyone looking. I don't want anyone looking through my boxes. I really don't. I don't want you looking through my boxes. He probably was whining more like a child, but what happens if we just don't respond at all or don't play ball with them? Wouldn't it be better if we just told them we don't have anything here? Well, look, isn't it better if there are no documents?
Okay, so
wink, wink.
Well, the thing is, what you have to infer, especially from this last statement where he's like, well, look, isn't it better if there are no documents? He's literally standing right next to 80 boxes filled with classified documents. So if you kind of get what he's saying there, he's like, can't you just lie to him for me? Yeah.
Sounds like he was planning and conspiring to destroy the evidence of a federal investigation.
Yes. Destroy / hide, whatever. Yes.
Eventually, Trump agreed that Corcoran would return to Mar-a-Lago on June 2nd.
It was what he was asking for was his Roy Cohn moment. He wanted a lawyer who would do the fixing for him. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue.
Agreed with Corcoran to return to Mar-a-Lago on June 2nd, Corcoran that is, to search for the boxes, saying he'd delay his plans to travel to Bedminster in order to be there. Oh, that was so gracious of him. Between May 23rd and June 2nd, the indictment says Nauta moved a total of 64 boxes from the storage room to Trump's residence, quote, at Trump's direction. Nauta brought 30 boxes back to the storage room on June 2nd before Corcoran arrived to conduct his search.
Ruh-roh.
So if you can do some maths, there was a subtraction of 34 boxes. I did maths. What happened to those boxes? They were probably in Barron's underwear drawer. Nauta escorted Corcoran to the storage room where he found 38 such documents after a 3-hour search and placed them in a red-weld folder that he wrapped with clear duct tape. After his search, Corcoran met with Trump, who asked, "Did you find anything? Is it good? Bad? Sorry, is it bad? Good?" There you go.
Well, this is insane because Trump knows he left some classified documents in those boxes.
He just thinks everyone is as stupid or stupider than he is. So he's like, "You didn't find anything, right?" Like, fingers crossed. Corcoran asked Christina Bobb, who was not involved in the search, to sign a certification stating that all documents responsive to the subpoena had been located and handed over after a, quote, diligent search of the, quote, boxes that were moved from the White House to Florida after having arranged a meeting with the FBI agent the next day to return the documents. So, yeah, Corcoran asked Christina to lie, and Christina Bobb was happy to lie.
Well, I think what happened here is Corcoran, not an active part of the plot, but who also wasn't stupid, realized Trump was up to some fucking shenanigans and didn't want to put his name on this certification that was to be sent off to the FBI saying we searched everywhere.
He's
and
kind
this
of
is
asking her to lie. He doesn't.
Well, he doesn't trust Trump, so he doesn't want to put his name on it. So he's trying to throw Christina Bobb under the bus.
He's asking her to lie by signing an affidavit that says she conducted a diligent search when he knows she didn't.
I think.
Anyway,
well, it not saying that she conducted it. I think it was like passive voice that a search was conducted.
Anyway,
yeah,
these
legally
statements were false. Quote, "These statements were false because, among other reasons..."
This is according to the indictment specifically.
Yeah. So, yes, this is a quote from the indictment. "These statements were false because, among other reasons, Trump had directed Nauta to move boxes before Trump Attorney 1 June 2nd review, so that many boxes were not searched and many documents responsive to the May 11th subpoena could not be found, and in fact were not found by Trump Attorney number 1, according to the incident."
Indictment. Yes. So I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory why Trump caught an obstruction charge for that shit.
The indictment incident.
Reading
I'm
is
sorry,
hard.
I need a 1-minute break. You'll never even know I'm gone. Ha ha, funny joke.
Okay. Well, after these messages, we'll be right back. I'm a mess.